Once upon a time, there lived a Sufi man and dervish known as the Lonely Dervish. He had a trusty donkey that he rode on during his travels from village to village. By day, he would journey on his donkey, and at night, if he reached a monastery, he would seek shelter with fellow dervishes. When no lodgings were available, he would rest in mosques, believing that wherever a dervish lay his head at night, that place became his home. As a stranger without companions and lacking worldly wealth or expertise, his occupation was to recite moral poems and offer advice to villagers, sustaining himself through the generosity of those he encountered. He found contentment and happiness in his intellectual and spiritual world. Apart from his simple and snug attire, the lonely dervish had a worldly possession, his donkey, which allowed him to explore different places and learn from diverse experiences. His outlook on sustenance was optimistic, believing that destiny would provide a hungry person with at least a little food. He emphasized the importance of having a free and content heart, without lamenting what the world had or lacked. The lonely dervish possessed a pious heart, a defining trait that led him to become a dervish in the first place. One day, the dervish journeyed through the desert and reached a village, tired, hungry, and thirsty. He quenched his thirst and took care of his donkey at the first stream of water before seeking shelter in a monastery where Sufis and dervishes had gathered. Some crafty individuals, noticing the donkey and the dervish, concocted a deceitful plan to profit from them. While the Sufis warmly welcomed the lonely dervish, these crafty men, feigning respect, invited him to join the assembly. They engaged him in conversation while signaling and sarcastically warning each other about their scheme. Later, they went to the stable, took the dervish's donkey, and sold it to an unsuspecting passerby, using the proceeds to buy food, drinks, and sweets for a grand feast in honor of the new guest, the lonely dervish. The festivities included singing and dancing, and the crafty men initiated him about the donkey's departure, which the assembly enthusiastically joined. A hired musician played the instrument and sang the hymn with a resounding voice. Joy arrived, sorrow took flight. The donkey went, and the donkey went. The crafty men sang along with the hired musician, reciting the poem, The donkey went and the donkey went. The entire assembly became exhilarated, dancing and singing in unison to the same tune. The lonely dervish, observing the joyous atmosphere, forgot his fatigue and believed that the unique and intriguing poem must have a tale and an adventure linked to the dervish community. Enthusiastically, he joined in, spreading cheer and reciting the poem even louder with the others, The donkey went and the donkey went. The lonely dervish, unaware of the deceit, joined in the merriment, believing that the song held a special significance related to his dervish path. As the night wore on, the dervish, exhausted, fell asleep in a corner, and by morning, most of the guests had departed for their daily lives. When he prepared to leave and reclaim his donkey, he discovered that it was missing from the stable. Confused and concerned, the dervish questioned the servant responsible for the donkey's care, but the servant played foolish and denied any knowledge of the donkey.
"Where's my donkey?"
Lonely dervish inquired of the servant, his frustration evident. The servant, trying to be facetious, responded.
"Which donkey are you talking about?"
Perplexed, the lonely dervish retorted.
"What do you mean? I'm talking about the donkey I entrusted to you last night."
Once again, the servant ridiculed the dervish, mocking his long beard. Feeling agitated, the lonely dervish questioned.
"What kind of talk is this? I asked for my donkey, and you make fun of my beard? Is this a joke? Get my donkey ready immediately. I want to leave. If you're indulging in some fantasy and want to play games with me, I will take legal action and report this to the authorities."
The servant responded defensively.
"You have only made a fool of yourself. All the treats, sweets, and hot food you enjoyed last night were paid for with the money from selling the donkey. Didn't you realize that?"
"Oh, dear. So they sold my donkey? Who gave them the right to sell it?"
exclaimed the lonely dervish. The servant clarified.
I didn't sell it, the crafty men did.
Why did you give the donkey to them when I was the owner?
Questioned the dervish. The servant explained fearfully.
I couldn't stand up to them. There were 10 of them, and they threatened me, saying they would take the donkey by force. I was afraid for my life and stayed silent. They even stationed 2 guards here to prevent me from approaching the assembly. Yes, it all happened, and by the time the situation calmed down, no one was paying attention.
The lonely dervish considered the situation and replied.
Even if they took the donkey by force, I was present. You should have informed me an hour later so that I could confront them, seek the support of the honest people in the assembly, and demand my donkey and its value from them. Then you wouldn't have had to be afraid.
The servant admitted.
You were right. 2 hours later, when they were preoccupied with drinking, I intended to inform you about the donkey's sale. However, I saw you joyfully reciting poetry, dancing, and cheerfully repeating the phrase "the donkey went and the donkey went." It seemed like you knew about the donkey's disappearance, and so, I refrained from telling you. I thought you were content with the dervish's joy and had no concerns about losing the donkey. If you were in my place, you would have thought the same.
The lonely dervish, after considering the servant's explanation, agreed.
You make a fair point. Now I understand. My own foolishness led to this mishap as I blindly participated in their celebration without knowing the meaning of their song. If I had understood the significance of the donkey went and the donkey went from the beginning, this wouldn't have happened. I should have not sung it without understanding the content. There is nothing I can do now. It was my uninformed imitation that misled you. I wouldn't have lost my donkey if I hadn't blindly joined the crafty men's song.
With these reflections, the lonely dervish recited a poem before departing, expressing his disdain for blind imitation.
The people were swept away by their mimicry. Oh, 200 curses on this imitation.
Imitation is a natural part of human behavior. From a young age, we observe and mimic the actions, words, and behaviors of those around us. However, when imitation becomes blind and thoughtless, it can lead to several negative consequences. While imitation can serve as a valuable learning tool, blind and thoughtless imitation can have detrimental effects on our personal growth, authenticity, and creativity. It is essential to strike a balance between learning from others and embracing our own individuality. By cultivating critical thinking, self-reflection, and a genuine understanding of ourselves, we can avoid the pitfalls of blindly imitating others and pave our path to personal fulfillment and success.